being both video recorded and closed captioned. If you are interested in receiving a copy of the video or the transcript, please reach out to the email address located in the meeting notice. A copy of the presentation itself is available at meadgreatbarrington.squarespace.com or by request. And with that, I will turn it over to David.
All right, thanks, Annie. Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Can everyone see that?
Not yet.
Not quite.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, great. So thanks again, Annie. My name is David Julian. I'm a senior associate attorney at Vicente Cedarberg LLP. And I'm here, thank you so much for coming to our community outreach meeting. And I'm here on behalf of Meed Cannabis for our community outreach meeting. And this is for a proposed adult use marijuana cultivation facility and transporter facility at 964 Main Street in Great Barrington. So Meed Cannabis is a Massachusetts limited liability company committed to cultivating and transporting consistent high quality cannabis in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The company intends to cultivate a variety of strains as well as transport marijuana product in accordance with state law and the Commission's regulations. The team has assembled a group of experienced executive management team members that have a diverse set of skills, talents, and experience to operate this facility. And the experience includes business administration, sales, marketing, real estate development, finance, cultivation, and quality control. So now I'm going to turn it over to Moshe Arazi to just introduce himself and give a little bit of information about the team members.
Hi, everyone. Just a short introduction. My name is Moshe. I grew up in Greater Boston. I went to UMass Amherst and studied plant, soil, insect sciences there. I worked in the cannabis industry, but not in Massachusetts at the time because I graduated in 2011. So since then, I was working in different states and abroad a little bit. And it was always my dream to open a facility here in Massachusetts. I've been following the laws, and we found this property. It looked like a good place to open a small tier 1 or tier 2 cultivation. My partners, they're really good friends of mine. We've been doing business for over a decade, real estate and other stuff, and they bring a ton of experience as well.
All right, thanks, Mosh. So a little bit about the facility. So the company will utilize an existing 7,500 square foot warehouse at 964 Main Street, and specifically parcel B, which is this green structure that's the furthest from the street. There's sufficient access to the facility from Main Street, as well as on-site parking for staff and transport vehicles. The project mostly involves interior renovation of the existing structure. There will be some minor exterior changes related to the installation of security equipment, HVAC, but the majority of the project will utilize the existing building, and there's not a plan to expand the footprint of the existing structure. So the property in the proposal is compliant with local zoning. It's located in the light industrial zoning district that is designated for marijuana cultivation facilities in the zoning bylaw. It's not within 500 feet of a school or other facility where children congregate or near any residences. The company is in the process of preparing to apply for a special permit from the select board, as well as site plan review approval from the planning board. The company met a couple weeks ago with various municipal officials and intends to continue to work collaboratively with the town and its various departments and officials to ensure the facility is fully compliant with any local rules and codes with respect to its design and operation. And again, this is simply a small cultivation and transporter facility. There are no plans for any retail sales, home delivery, or social consumption intended for this facility. So the cultivation and transporter operations involve cultivation of marijuana flower for wholesale sale to other licensed marijuana businesses in the Commonwealth, as well as providing secure transporter services for other licensed marijuana businesses. All marijuana produced will be tested by an independent testing lab for cannabinoid content and contaminants. In addition to the product itself, the environmental media for growing will also be tested. All marijuana will be cultivated and handled and stored and transported in compliance with the Commission's very strict regulations, which apply to both how the operations are handled as well as very strict energy efficiency and equipment standards to minimize energy and water usage. Security is obviously a major concern for these types of marijuana businesses, and the company will contract with a professional security and alarm company to design and implement and monitor a comprehensive security plan to ensure that the facility and its employees and the local community are safe. There are a number of different security features that are required by the regulations. I have some of them listed here, but I just would like to highlight there will be alarms and video cameras, alarms on all points of access, as well as video cameras on the interior and exterior of any area where marijuana will ever be. There will also be close coordination with the Great Barrington Police Department, and the company will work collaboratively to approve the security plan to ensure the town is certainly on board with all security measures. And then with respect to the actual transport vehicles, they will always be staffed with 2 registered agents. They'll have secure boxes in the storage compartment for product, and there will be cameras inside the vehicle as well. Preventing diversion is also a priority of the regulations. There'll be a number of different measures taken to ensure that diversion is prevented. Any agent who is found to have diverted marijuana will be reported to local law enforcement and the commission. This facility will only be accessible by registered agents of the company and lawful visitors who are logged in, and all individuals accessing must be 21 years of age and older. Again, the public, the general public will not have any sort of general access to the site. And again, this is not a retail facility. So there will be a limited number of people who are able to actually enter the facility, and they will all be either agents or logged lawful visitors. In terms of marketing, the regulations have strict requirements about ensuring that any marketing and advertising is not targeted to minors. Again, any employees will be at least 21 years of age and older. Any website operated by the company will require visitors to verify that they're 21 years of age or older prior to accessing the website. We also want to be a good neighbor and work well with the local community and the general surrounding area. So we are currently working with a professional engineering company to design the facility, and part of that will be developing a comprehensive odor mitigation plan with sophisticated HVAC exhaust systems and carbon filtration to reduce any odors that emanate from the facility. All waste will be properly disposed of to minimize development of odor and attracting any sort of pests. And again, there'll be pretty strict advertising that will ensure that any vehicles or any public transportation does not have any obvious advertising for the company. And we've already been in discussions with the butters, and we intend to work closely with any concerned neighbors as well as any concerned municipal officials to address any concerns that may arise once operations commence. Again, this is an existing warehouse facility. No marijuana will ever be visible from the exterior of the facility or from the exterior of any transport companies. That's a very strict rule that's enforced by the commission. We'll not install any sort of neon lights or anything like that. And again, this is not a retail facility. It's just a cultivation facility. So any people driving by or walking by would really not know exactly what was going on inside. No consumption of any marijuana will occur on the premises by Any wholesale customers or employees or visitors, that will be strictly enforced as well. And there will be some mechanical equipment because this is a cultivation facility. We don't anticipate there will be any significant noise, but again, we are currently coordinating with a professional engineering company to develop a mitigation plan to the extent that there are any noises caused by the HVAC equipment. So again, we look forward to working collaboratively with the town to ensure we're a responsible, contributing member of the community, and we intend to benefit the community in a number of different ways. So we expect to add approximately 20 to 30 full-time jobs, as well as work with qualified local vendors for ongoing maintenance of the facility. We're hoping to enter into a host community agreement with the town that will include a community impact fee to help offset the costs of any of our operations on the town and avoid any negative financial impact to the town. The objective of this facility is to produce high quality, independently tested cannabis products for the consumers in the Commonwealth. And again, we're going to work closely with the municipal officials, including the police department and the fire department, who will continue to have oversight over our operations, in addition to the Cannabis Control Commission. As I mentioned before, the founders and managers of the company are experienced professionals who will be thoroughly background checked and vetted by the commission. And all employees will be registered as agents and will have to be deemed suitable and background checked before working at the facility. And we're also excited to bring a new business to Great Barrington and to utilize existing commercial space within the town. So that was just a brief presentation to give you a sense of exactly what we plan on doing. We're continuing to work through the process, both with the local town in terms of the special permit, and then with the goal of submitting a license applications to the commission. But thank you for your time, and we're here to answer any questions that you might have.
Great, thank you. It looks as though we don't have any open questions at this time. One of our attendees did ask how to access the presentation. I'll just repeat that. It's at meedgreatbarrington.squarespace.com, and I've put that URL in the chat for anyone who would like that. Let's see, it looks, Denise Forbes has a question. We'll wait for her to type that. Let's see. Oh,
and on the screen is my personal contact.
Sorry?
Also contact me. On the screen is my personal contact information if anyone wants to reach out.
Fantastic, thank you. So Denise, I see that you've typed, is this an indoor grow facility?
Yes, this is an indoor cultivation facility. All plants and cultivation operations will take place within the fully enclosed cultivation facility. There is no intent to have any sort of greenhouse or outdoor cultivation.
Great. So we have one more question, or that somebody wants to know, should it be typed in the question and answer or the chat? If you have a question, you can type it into the question and answer function. You can type it into the chat, or you can raise your hand. Denise, I see that you have your hand raised, and we will do the hand raised after we get to the typed question. So any of those are acceptable. I've got my eye on all three, and I'll make sure that all questions are answered. So follow up, Denise Forbes would like to know, if so, indoor grow facility, is the ground going to be capturing the water that flows out from the plant overflow, or is it a cement floor?
So Moshe, I don't know if you want to jump in here about the facility itself, but go ahead.
We're working with an engineer right now to design the facility for our special permit, and the town is going to require us to show where the water and waste is going to go. In general, it's treated. It doesn't just go into the ground, into the wild, because obviously there's toxins from the plants and the fertilizers that we have to follow the environmental regulations for. So we're going to build is it a cement floor? No, we're going to build a drainage, a special system for this.
Great, thank you. Denise still has her hand up, and we have no open questions. So I'm going to go ahead and call on her and see if she has any further questions. All right, Denise, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Hi, I'm Denise Forbes. I'm in Housatonic, 325 North Plain Road. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I was just wondering about this facility. Will you have fans exhausting out the fumes from the marijuana? And if so, do you have any kind of mitigation system because of the odors that will be coming out through the fan system?
Yeah, like we're still working with the engineer on this, but part of the plan is to have a sophisticated odor control system, so there won't be any odors outside the building for anyone that's nearby or passing by. That's just common practice for facilities now.
Okay, all right, because a lot of the odor control systems don't always work. We've already had this issue in our area, and I just wanted to find out what the system was that you were going to use. Was it the misting system that just sprays over a mist to shield the smell, or was it something totally different and more effective?
We didn't get to that stage yet with our engineer, but once we do, I'd be happy to. You could send me a personal email also, or however you want to contact me. I can let you know exactly the model and everything for the system we plan to use.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Denise. Okay, so Michelle Lubert, forgive me if I mispronounce your name, asks, I'm assuming great detail will be presented during the town permitting process as to odor control, noise, lighting, traffic, etc.
That's exactly right. So we're currently working with a professional engineering company that has handled special permitting and site plan review for several cultivation facilities in the Commonwealth. So we will be working with them to develop our plans to address everything from lighting to noise to odor control to traffic to parking. And we will be appearing both before the select board for the special permit as well as before the planning board for site plan review. So a lot of these details will be discussed and approved by those two municipal boards. And then separate from that, there will also be a series of inspections by the Cannabis Control Commission to ensure that we are fully compliant with all of the strict regulations from the state. So there will be a number of different people and agencies and boards who will be weighing in and required to approve this facility and its design and operations before we actually commence operations.
Great. We have no open questions at this time. We'll give them 1 minute or two to, in case we have any follow-up. And for our phone call-in listener, if you have a question, you can push *9 and that will raise your hand and I'll call on you so that you can speak with the team. So not seeing any questions open this up. There it is. Michelle has a question and I'm going to allow her to talk. All right, Michelle, you should be able to unmute yourself and speak with the team.
Hi, thank you very much. Can you hear me clearly?
We can.
Thank you. Michelle Lubert, 70 Division Street. I live in a nearby neighborhood as Denise Forbes, and over a year, we had quite an extensive back and forth with a cannabis company in our neighborhood. Probably over 2 years, we did extensive study on noise, odor, etc., lighting, everything. We lived and breathed it for quite a bit. We're still doing it. That being said, on the odor control, that's a particular concern of mine. because I've recently been involved with attending meetings of other companies. And I'm just interested in knowing, and this wasn't that long ago, I think the last one maybe was several months ago, how odor control technology has changed, because these questions repeatedly come up, not only in our community, but surrounding communities as well. So I will be honing in on the odor control. Something that was off of my radar was lighting as well, because I know that can be as intrusive as odor if not handled properly. And as Denise brought up with with noise, with fans, what may seem acceptable in one area or to a company may not be acceptable to the people around them. And, I was quite concerned in my experience studying the fans, how intrusive the noise can be there. So that's why I asked what kind of detail you're going to be bringing forward to the planning board and the select board. Because there are citizens in Great Barrington and Housatonic who are experienced in reviewing this information. No, we're not engineers by any standards. So I'm looking forward to seeing your presentation to our town boards. And I do appreciate your presentation tonight and listening to comments. Thank you. And thank you for providing the link to the presentation. That was very helpful.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks, Michelle. And I just want to address that what you mentioned about the applicant. I forget their name, but they were trying to build like 15 greenhouses in Great Barrington, like a huge, just to give you a sense of the scale, there's 10 tiers, and they were applying for a tier 9 outdoor cultivation license. And we're not trying to do anything like that. We're applying for a tier 1 or a tier 2, which is the lowest possible size operation, and it's 100% indoors, whereas theirs was outdoors. So ours is just a basically 5,000 square foot warehouse grow, which is very, very small. I don't see anything or hear anything outside. But I'm happy to show you the details, like you mentioned, about the fan and lighting and stuff.
Thank you very much. I do realize that it's substantially smaller than the Fulcrum project that was proposed for Van Duzenville Road. But just a point, they cut the project down just a little bit to take it out of the tier 10. That was monitored really. It was originally up around tier 10. And they shaved a little off of it to bring it down to a tier 9. But I know how these projects can evolve, but I went down to look at the site, and you're correct. It's not a massive site down there. But again, I'm interested to see your proposal in detail. And thank you, by the way, thank you for posting contact information as well. And so any other questions I have that aren't addressed during the meetings, if you're open to the questions being asked of you, Mr. Arazi, is it? I would send them to you if you don't mind. Thank you.
Yeah, I definitely want to be part of the Great Barrington community and have good relations with everyone there. Like I said, I went to UMass, which is right down the road. I've been to Great Barrington many times, so definitely to maintain the connection.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Okay. It looks like we do not have any open questions at this time. If you would like to make final address to the attendees and to those people who might be watching it later, that will give a little bit of time to allow for any follow-up questions that may arise.
Sure. So thanks again for attending our community meeting. Again, we will be appearing before 2 different boards in the future, and further developing our project. So, and again, we do want to become a responsible and good neighbor. So we appreciate everyone's comments, and we'll be working to make this work for us and for the town in general. So Thanks so much. And Moshi, go ahead if you have anything else you'd like to add.
Well said. Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent. I see no open questions. Just as a quick follow-up, if you do have questions after the fact or you are watching this later, you can see the contact information on this last slide, or you can email the email address in the notice for the meeting, and they can connect you with the team as well. And seeing, I just want to make one more double check because I want to make sure we get everybody. I see no open questions at this time, so I think we're going to call it.
All right. Thanks a lot, Annie. We appreciate your help.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, everybody, for attending.
All right. Have a good night.
All right, good night.
Thank you.